Hello world. So we got the Benchmade Bugout recently upgraded with from the stock scales to the Flytanium green canvas Micarta scales. Now we have a glow Rhino tritium insert to replace for our axis lock. Did this once. So should be a little easier the second time. Ready? Bada boom! There it is, tritium insert on that side, and it's just blank on that side. But it'll be pretty cool. So I've already done that on this one. With the tritium I put on the clip side because I typically set my knife down like this. But for the cool look side, typically put it right here. So I think this one, we're gonna switch it around and do it on that side. So we'll have one over here and one over there. But right now, there's that. And there it is with the tritium. So, set that one aside for now and get working on this one. And because I have these scales, use it for reminders of where these screws go. And this little driver is a T6. And then we also have a T10 for our pivot point. And I've done this a couple times now. Seems to be the easiest way is to keep the knife in the open position like this. Oops, it just fell out in my hand. Nope. Different one fell out. Okay. Keep it there. Now we'll flip it. We need to take out this and this. Because those are the only two that connect our knife portion. We can leave the barrel spacers on there. There's one. There's two. All right. There we go. Push that through. And there's a flat side to it that we want to keep up when we put this back together. So, and I will do a little cleaning. I took this apart to replace these recently. I'll link the video below. I think I'm going to clean this up pretty good too, because I have had this one for a while as well. So, we release the springs from the little hook here. Slide that down, it'll fall through. Bada boom. Okay, so we got our new one. We got our washers. Oop. Careful with those springs. Unhook them slowly. And that is the piece that we're replacing. Sorry. Right there. So, I'm gonna time out real quick. I'm gonna get everything cleaned up. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Got everything cleaned up. Give it a minute to dry off. So, cleaning process, just use some alcohol and a couple cotton patches. Now it's time to put it back together. So we are going to start with one of these plates that will end up fitting in right here. And we want our new axis lock and to have it facing up in this direction. So I think the spring that we need is this one. So I have the little tritium insert facing up. So right now the clip side is down. Slide that up into that hole and then around. And then we put our little spring, whoop, a little too much. Push it through and hook it right there. So it looks like that. Now we're going to put that piece in place. Flip it over. We're going to take this little screw first. Sharpen it with our T6. Sharpen, tighten. And I'm not going to Loctite these as they seem to stay pretty snug. Not going to go real tight, but just enough. Oh, and then we need, before we can put this screw in, we need this piece. And if you look, there's a kind of a collar on the outside that has a flat part. Flat part goes up because this hole right here has a flat part on the top side, so that's the only way it'll fit in there. So something like this. There we go. Hold that on the back side. Get our screw in there. Get it snug, but don't need to overboard these screws. You don't want to strip, they're pretty small. So now time for blades and washers. And the washers I have, where they have the round wear side, that you want to make contact with the blade facing up. So what I'm going to do here is Put just a drop, or hopefully like a half drop. Come on. There, this KPL. And just kind of, a half drop on each side and spread it around. We need to take our axis point, and there's a flat piece right here that we're going to put on top to also match that hole. There we go. Now we're going to take one of the washers, keep the side up that we want to make contact with the blade. We're going to put a little bit of oil. Come on. There it is. Now let's move it around. Can use this to move it. Ooh, I think a little bit of oil just came out. So we'll give it just a little dab. Soak up a little of that extra. So now it's time for the blade. And if we slide this back a little bit, gives us a little bit of room to get it in there. You gotta make sure you hold the piece in place. And you can release pressure on that axis lock. And look at that. Now, it is time for the next one. Keep the side up that has the round wear, this side, and we'll face that. There's a little drop on the side there. Move that around. And then we want to flip it over. Okay. So we are going to get a little drop on the end there. Dab it. And then wrap it. There we go. Just how we like it. Now we're going to get this in place here. But we need to pull back on that axis lock to give us room to get that in place. But I'm also going to take this other finger and put it on that back of that pivot point so that doesn't push out at the same time. So set this in place in the bigger hole there. Finger on the axis point in the back. Then we're going to slide this back and then use a couple other fingers to get that over and in place. Now you can let go of, there we go. Make sure it kind of clicks in place there so that it fits. Now set it back. And we need to get this next spring in place. Kind of hold everything into place. We are going to hook from the top. be kind of gentle, so you want to break these springs there. A little fragile. Get it hooked on. Now swing it down, and this little pin needs to be up in that corner to hold it in place. There we go. A little omega spring in place. We're going to take our other scale, go ahead and put it in there. Make sure you're keeping this pivot point in as far as you can. Just not going through that second one yet. Come on. There we go. Had to pull back on the axis lock and that popped into place there. Now, put that on, and that looks better on this side. There we go. Actually, first one that we're going to put in this time is that one. Just going real gentle. Snug in there. And we will put our pivot back in place, and this is actually the T10, so I'm going to switch drivers. Okay. So this is the one we're going to fine tune at the end, just get it lightly snug. Very lightly snug. Okay. Next we're going to put in this top one. There we go. And the last one. Okay. Now let's check it for straightness. That's actually pretty good. It's pretty centered. If it was off one way or the other, I would end up loosening all the screws on this side, the side that we took everything off of, and then trying to kind of with your fingers squeeze it so it shifts this way or this way, depending on which way you need to shift that blade. And while you're holding it like that, tighten back down on the screws to where it's about centered. I'd say it's pretty centered. Maybe favoring this side a little bit. We'll shift it some. We'll shift it some. So this is what you do. Loosen. That one I think can stay. Loosen. Loosen. Now I want the blade to move. I'm exaggerating it here, but move this way a little bit. So I'm going to push this scale that way and pull this scale that down. Kind of shift everything. So with these fingers I'm pushing that way, and that thumb I'm pushing that way. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and tighten back down on the screws that we have. Yep, there we go. That helped. Let's go ahead and do one last little tighten, make sure we didn't leave anything loose. Oh, we didn't take that one out, but there we go. Did these last time, but just to play it safe. Yeah. Okay. Now we need to worry about tightening that to the place we want it. So let's see. That's pretty loose. Tighten just a little bit at a time. I mean, just a little bit. Ooh, that's good. Maybe a little bit more. I like to get it to a point where it's just a little too tight and then back off some. So yeah, it's a little too loose there. Oop. Oop. Yep, there it is. That was too tight. Back off. Oop. Maybe a smidge more between kind of the two I had. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So, story behind two, real quick. Had this one for a long time, sucker for a blue knife. They came out with the Bugout, really like the design of it being real slim. You can put it in a bag or your pocket and forget about it. And so I had that one for a long time, ended up losing it. Ended up waiting, digging, couldn't find it for months. Ended up getting this one, decided to get a second one just in case this one turned up. Got a different color. It turned up, got to love it. But pretty slick, I like it. Let's turn off a couple lights and you can see a little bit better in the dark. We're going to zoom in a little bit on you too. Joink. So, tritium, no tritium. You kind of see that speck. And one thing I've noticed in carrying the other one is you have to have it pretty dead on. If it's kind of off to the side angle a little bit, you don't see it so well, but it turns up when you're dead on it. So shift a little bit and it kind of disappears right about there. It's not a whole lot of angle, but it still is pretty slick. It's a cool little upgrade. I dig it. Oop, way off here. Got one on each. Y'all let me know what you think. Which side should we put it on? Which side do you like? If you got any tips or tricks to putting these things together, taking them apart, you think I should use Loctite in different areas, let me know. But, oh, can't do that one lefty. Non-clip side, clip side. Reverse is just blank, like the kind of like the stock ones were. These are a little bit more of a matted than that, where you have more of a sheen on that one. I think they look good. Oh, really zoomed in. Sorry about that. Yeah. Clip side, non-clip side. Definitely has a little bit more of a sheen on it than the stock one. Or the stock one has more of a sheen on it than the Glow Rhinos. That's it. Y'all take care.